Hey familia, I'm Miranda here, and in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys a part of my collection that is kind of special. It's one that you really don't get to see, if ever, and I'm talking about my TV show collection. Now, it's not as big as other people's by any means, but I do have a pretty good amount from regular TV shows to animated stuff and all that, and obviously there's still a bunch more that I'm looking to add in, here in the near future and stuff. But before we get into today's video, I want to know, what is your all-time favorite TV show, hands down? And also, are there any like holy grail TV shows that you guys are on the hunt for? All right, so first up is probably the most recent addition to the collection, and that is the complete series of Friends here on Blu-ray. Definitely one that I need to see about, just binge watching one of these days. I mean, whenever I get a chance, I watch the reruns on TV and stuff like that. But I'm super happy to have this in the collection now because this was one of my all-time favorite shows growing up. One that I watched with my mom. I knew the theme song like word for word and everything, and it's just a fantastic show, you guys. So I'm super, super happy to finally have this in the collection. It was one that I'd been wanting for a long time, and I believe it was earlier this year that I actually added it in. All right, so the next TV show, I have all but the very last season, and that is House. I know this one's kind of weird. I don't know if this is actually supposed to come with like a slipcover or what. I think half of these I got through like a Facebook marketplace deal or whatever. But we have the first season here. Then we have season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5, and all of those are on DVD. I'm not sure if all of these are actually available on Blu-ray or if they only started doing Blu-ray after like a certain season or what, but I have season 6 on Blu-ray and then season 7 on Blu-ray. I need season 8, but I'm having the worst luck finding it. I see seasons of House out thrifting and at library sales like all the freaking time, but no luck on season 8. And I mean, last time I checked, new, it goes for like 20 bucks. I mean, I like the show, but I'm not one to spend no 20 bucks on a single season of a show. That's just crazy. That's just me. So I'm still hoping, fingers crossed, to one of these days find season 8 out in the open. And I don't know for sure because it's the white spine. So, but yeah, so season 8, and I'll be done with the full actual series itself. All right, so next up we have the complete series of Party of 5. I love this show growing up, you guys. I even actually watched the reboot that they did with like the Latino family. I was super bummed that they kicked the show though after one season, so I was really digging it. But yeah, Party of 5, I mean, who didn't watch this? Like, for real, this is just an awesome show, and so I definitely need to give these a little binge watch here pretty dang soon. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the packaging because as you can see, it comes like that. Which there's a few sets that I have that are like this. Not the greatest packaging, but still happy to have it in the collection. All right, so next up we have season 1 of the Twilight Zone. This did have a slipcover on it, but it's one of those ones that yeah, when you have little ones and they're like babies, my son, he used to pull out all of my movies and step all over them. So the outer packaging actually got damaged, along the way and stuff. And I lost the little like pamphlet thingy that goes inside with like the list of the episodes. But yeah, it's season 1 of the Twilight Zone. This is a version, I forget the exact year, but it's like early 2000s or so. I never really could get much into the older version, the black and white version. And I know that there was like a reboot, I think in like 2019 or something like that. So, like a few years ago or whatever, but I haven't gotten around to watching that either. This one, though, specifically, I remember my stepmom actually got this for me one time at Fred Meyer's, which is our Kroger. They still have a little movie section and whatnot, but yeah, got this. And this, you guys, if I'm not mistaken, this is actually possibly out of print because I've seen it go for some crazy money online. So I'm happy to still have this in the collection. I really love this show, you guys. And I've watched this like so many freaking times. I would just binge watch them like one weekend or whatever. And so that's probably also why it's kind of missing the outer packaging aside from it being, damaged by my kiddo. But yeah, so Twilight Zone, I love this show so much. I definitely would love to actually kind of check out the reboot and stuff. And I don't know exactly if there were any more seasons of this or not, or if it was just the one season, but yeah, I love this show. All right, so moving into Grey's Anatomy. So I do have season 1 and season 2. This is probably like the most common copy that you will find out at the thrift store. Like seriously, I see it like all the dang time. Then we have season 3, season 4, season 5, and season 6. So those are all the seasons of the show that I have. And I actually didn't really get into the show up until maybe a few years ago. I was actually watching some reruns one time when I was in Mexico, and I got super into the show. But I do remember this being like all the hype back in high school. Everybody would just be talking about this show. It's like, oh, I can't hang out because it's Grey's Anatomy night. Like, really? But yeah, so I remember just being so annoyed by all the talk about this show. But yeah, a few years ago, I checked it out and I actually didn't mind it. I forget exactly how many seasons there are. I know there's like a ton of them, but I have the first 6, so I'm at least happy with that. All right, so moving into my all-time favorite show, you guys. Definitely one of my, well, if not my favorite, you know, like police kind of crime drama, and that is Criminal Minds. So I do have seasons 1 through 4, and then I do have seasons 5 through 8. And then I have, hold on, these are out of order. 1 second. I got season 13 here, just still factory sealed. I haven't opened it. Season 14, factory sealed still. And the final season here, season 15. So I still need to get seasons 9 through 12. That is the gap that I have in this collection. I will eventually, I'm kind of hoping to get the chunky set here of seasons 9 through 12 because it is available. And I don't know, I know the price has gone up a little bit on it, so that's why I really haven't pulled the trigger, but hopefully one of these days it'll go down or I can find it somewhere for cheap. Because I think last time I had looked, it was like $40 and then it went up from there. And so I should have probably snagged at the $40 point, but I didn't. So that's what I get for not purchasing it right away. But yeah, eventually I will fill in the gap. All right, next up, I absolutely freaking love this show, and that is Third Rock from the Sun, the complete series. You got all 6 seasons here. This is another one too. Not a fan of the packaging, but I wanted this set for like the longest time ever. And so, you know, a few years ago, I finally added it into the collection. Such a blast, such a fun little show. And so, yeah, I definitely got some good laughs from this one. So happy to have this one in the collection. All right, another one of my favorite shows from back in the day, and I do have every season of it, and that is Boy Meets World. So we got the first season there. We got season 2, season 3, season 4, season 5, season 6, and season 7. All right, next up we have The Parkers. This was a show that I kind of got into a little bit later on. Like, I didn't watch this initially when it like first came out. Yeah, I don't know why. At first I wasn't really interested in it, and then I actually got into the show and actually ended up really enjoying it. So I did snag this one. This is another one too that I'm not a fan of the packaging though, because they put like all the discs in these like little, the like black sleeves or whatever. So it's not the greatest, but still nonetheless happy to have it in the collection. And then I do have the first season of the Bernie Mac show, which my buddy Khalil actually let me know that this was the only season that they actually released physically. The other ones aren't available, you know, on a physical format or anything. But yeah, I'm happy to have this one. This next one I think everybody should have in their collection, and that is The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. One of my favorites growing up. Will Smith in this, just absolutely love him. Like, seriously, what is freaking not to love about this show? So this is just freaking awesome. I'm happy, super happy to have this one in the collection. Next up, we have Zena, Warrior Princess. This is one that I actually kind of forgotten about for a while. And not too long ago, Groove actually got this in for like super freaking cheap. So I had to snag it. Very, very happy to have this one. So definitely need to see about giving this one a rewatch here very soon. All right, so moving on, we have the complete series of Bones. This is another one too that I didn't watch until like way, way later in life. So this one is another one too that I actually had started watching like for the first time one time when I was in Mexico, and yeah, got super into the show and stumbled upon this set here for a really good price, and yeah, I just couldn't pass it up. So another show that I need to see about actually like binge watching here one of these days. But yeah, the complete series of Bones. So pretty dang awesome. All right, next up we have Touched by an Angel, and this is seasons 1 through 3. I absolutely love this show. It was one that I watched a lot with my mom and stuff. And so yeah, I forget exactly how many seasons there are, but this 3-season set I couldn't pass up. Got it for super cheap off of Hamilton Book. And same with this one. I'm not actually really too familiar with this show. I've only seen like a few episodes here and there, but for like the $6 that I got it for on Hamilton Book, I just had to go ahead and scoop up numbers season 1 through 4. And plus, I'm a big fan of David Krumholtz here, especially I've kind of had a thing for him since his days as Bernard in the Santa Claus. But yeah, the few episodes that I've actually seen of the show, I actually really enjoyed it. So definitely need to give this one actually a watch and you know, see how the rest of the episodes are. Another one of my favorites, and I'm sure it was for many, that is Sabrina the Teenage Witch. So happy to have this one. All right, getting into some Nickelodeon stuff. So we do have a Drake and Josh here. This isn't necessarily like a season, but it's the best of seasons 1 and 2. So it is episodes from the TV show. I loved it, so I wouldn't actually mind owning the entire, you know, series of Drake and Josh. Next up, I don't know why that came out really weird. But anywho, we have the volume 1 and volume 2 of the Amanda Show, which I remember watching this one back in the day and just loving it. Always was a fan of Amanda Bynes and stuff, so yeah, I will definitely watch these here soon because I haven't seen this show in like forever. And then I do have the first and second season of Mind of Mencia. Absolutely hilarious. Carlos Mencia, he's just so ridiculously funny, and so yeah, I wouldn't mind getting you know, some more seasons from the show. All right, so getting into some of the animated stuff, I do have Avatar: The Last Airbender here on Blu-ray, the complete collection. I mean, I wasn't super into the, you know, show growing up or anything like that, but I do remember it enough, and definitely one that I would like to actually watch, you know, the whole series all the way through and stuff. I love the, you know, live action movie that they made. I know it gets a lot of hate, but I personally love it. And so does my family. But yeah, so we got Avatar: The Last Airbender. Next up, we have American Dad Volume 7. Has 19 episodes on it. And then I do have the complete series of Doug. I always love this show, man. Oh my gosh. And then we have Dinotopia, the series. This one has 13 episodes on it. I always remember being so fascinated by this show for some reason. I don't know. And I kind of forgotten about it for like the longest time. And like took me years to remember what the heck the show was even called. And yeah, I just specifically remember it for Eric Von Detten. But yeah, so I, for some reason, thought that this show was like much longer, but I guess it's only 13 episodes. So, but yeah, I always thought this was like the coolest thing ever, this show. All right, do have the complete first season of Teen Titans. I mean, I dig it, you guys. My kiddos do. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind getting the rest of the seasons at some point. And same with this, The Loud House. This is a much newer show, but I actually really dig this show. And my kiddos do too. It's pretty funny. I mean, just a household full of girls and then the one boy and stuff like that. And yeah, so this is definitely one that eventually I will see about getting the other seasons of the show, including the Casa Grandes. So you got that. This one I need to give a revisit to because I haven't seen this since I was a kid, and that is Street Sharks. But I do remember always freaking loving this show. So it's like one that me and my brother were super hooked on. I know this did just get a Blu-ray release, which is awesome. Don't know if I'll upgrade. I don't know how much of a difference there is actually going to be like in quality and stuff like that. But yeah, Street Sharks. And then I think it's so awesome that schools still show the Magic School Bus. Yes, the complete series. Had to have this, you guys. Like, seriously, in school and just growing up as a little kid, like, this was, like, the coolest, like, cartoon ever. And it was just always so unique. All these little adventures that they went on into, like, the body and all of that. And I don't know, it's just awesome. And, yeah, I think it's great that schools still show it to this day. Then I do have the first and second volume of The Goof Troop. All right, next up, we got the Pebbles and Bam Bam Show, which I've actually never seen this, but I got this super cheap for Hamilton Book. You got 16 episodes on here, so I don't know if this show actually did very well or not. I think maybe I've seen like an episode, but I just thought it was kind of cool since it's like, you know, the Flintstones kids like all grown up or whatever. So we got that. And then a show that I did always enjoy, and I remember watching it a lot over at my grandparents' house, that is the complete series of the Yogi Bear Show. And then this one, we have seasons 1 and 2 of Bluey. There is a third season, but I don't know if they've actually released it yet on physical media. But yeah, this show, you guys, it's actually kind of grown on me, sadly. I will say, it's kind of cool to see how this like family of these healers or whatever are, you know, like so like connected, and just the awkwardness of this family, their like quirkiness and all of that. Like, I don't know, it's odd little cartoon, but it's funny because it's like just so kind of relatable. Like even some of the things they say are like things that I say to my own kids and stuff like that, you know? So I mean, it's just kind of interesting and just always gives me the giggles. Like, I don't know, just some of the things they say and doing this is a little dumb, but highly relatable, honestly. So it definitely has grown on me, and my kiddos love this. Like even my son, who's almost about to be 12, he actually really digs this show too. So I mean, that kind of says a lot. All right, another series that I would like to eventually complete. I have the first and second season here, and that is the Ren and Stimpy show. I did always enjoy this one back in the day, so definitely one to see about completing. And then I do have Volume 1 and Volume 2 of Annoying Orange. And this was one show that I just randomly one day stumbled upon on like YouTube or whatever, and I was like completely hooked on it. I don't even freaking know why. But like to this day though, like I mean, I'm surprised it's got its own spot on, I think it was Cartoon Network if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, duh, it says right there, Cartoon Network. But yeah, I watched this back when it was like YouTube days, so but yeah, I watched this with the kiddos. They actually liked it. For me personally, it's like, why did I even watch this? Why did I waste my time watching this show when I was younger? Like, what was the point of this show? Like, seriously? Oh my gosh. And then this show right here was actually sent to me by my good friend, the Horror Punk, and that is Daria. I've never seen this show, but he says it's a good one, so I definitely need to see about giving this one a watch here soon. All right, so next up, another one that I would like to complete, that is Rocko's Modern Life. I only have season 2 here, but I always did love this show too growing up, and so it's definitely one that I would like to see about completing. Same with Cat Dog. This is season 1, part 2, but I do believe Cat Dog is actually out of print because it goes for some ridiculous money. So I really don't see myself completing this one anytime soon, but yeah, I would love, love, love the complete series of Cat Dog. I just absolutely love that show. And same with this, which this one I probably will eventually pick up the full series, but we do have the Wild Thornberries season 1. All right, this next show, I've actually never really watched. I mean, I've watched a little bit here and there from when hubby like watches it and stuff like that. It's really I got for him, and it's in the collection for him, but that is the complete Thundercat series. So yeah, like I said, I really don't know much on this show, but he oftentimes would like watch it on like YouTube and stuff like that, and so I ended up picking up the collection here for him so he could watch it whenever he wants. All right, these next few little sets that I have are actually, I did a complete like unboxing video on these. If you guys are interested in checking it out, it will be in the description box below. But we have the complete Gumby show here, and this is from the 50s, I believe, this one. And then we have the 60s. And then we have the 80s. There is another set, which I actually do have saved to my Amazon wish list to pick up eventually, which I believe it's the 70s if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, these sets I actually got off a Hamilton book. They were super freaking cheap, and honestly, I ain't gonna lie, I wanted them kind of for the figures and stuff like that, because they all do have figures. Like I said, there's an unboxing video that I'll leave in the description box below for you guys to check out so you guys can see exactly what it all looks like. But yeah, Gumby, I grew up on it. I had like my little figurines, I had a little Pokey plush and all of that. So yeah, it's definitely one that I'm kind of curious to revisit soon. All right, the last little bunch that I have are actually some that I have in Spanish. So I do have like some soap operas. I mean, obviously back in the day, I was like super into like Mexican soap operas and all of that. Especially when it came to like, you know, teenage soap operas or whatever. Those are mostly what I watched, kind of started in like middle school and stuff like that. But this one here is actually one that I watched with hubby. This was like came out when we like kind of first got together. And it's this soap opera here called Al Diablo con los Guapos. Love this one, and it is just a lot of fun and just interesting, fun little storyline and stuff like that. So I do have that one. The first actual like teenage soap opera that I watched, and this was back when I was in like 7th or 8th grade or something like that, is this one here called Clase 406. And this is the first season. I still need to see about getting the second season, but after this, I was totally hooked on all these little like Mexican like teenage soap operas and stuff like that. And so I watched like a bunch of them, went on to do other ones and stuff like that. And so yeah, I have the first season of this. Not sure if the second season is still even available for purchase anywhere, but it's one that I definitely would like to see about finding one of these days. All right, so I do have technically I have all 3 seasons. So I have the second and third season here of Rebelde. This, you guys, so that first soap opera that I just showed you guys, a lot of them went on to be in this specific soap opera. And from this, the 6 of them actually created a band, and it was the one concert that I went to. Like the only concert I ever went to in my life. It was sophomore year, and this was back when I lived up in Washington. They actually came to Tacoma, and so I actually went to go see them in concert in Tacoma, which was freaking awesome. I did not have a voice the next day, but yeah, I absolutely love this soap opera, you guys, so freaking much. It's just crazy how popular they became and everything and whatnot. But obviously after several years, they did eventually like split. But actually recently, a couple years ago, they actually kind of got back together, sort of, minus you know, a bandmate or two, and they did like a little show and everything. But I supposedly, if I'm not mistaken, I think they may be going on tour again. I'm not sure. I think the only one that didn't return was him. Last time that they did the show, she wasn't part of it because she was actually pregnant at the time, but I do believe that she is back, and so he's technically the only one missing. But I do actually have the first season here too, but as you can see, they're just in these cases. This did originally come like in a slipcase and everything, but again, my son got a hold of my movies back when he was a little munchkin, and yeah, kind of tore them up, and so I was just left with these. I'm not going to show you like inside. They're just like flipper discs, and there's nothing, like no artwork, nothing on them, so I don't want to like blind you guys there with that, but I do have all 3 seasons of that. And then I do have the volume 2 of La Familia Peluche. This is just a fun, cheesy, kind of dumb show about this one family, and they just kind of, you know, it's one thing after another. Always just kind of weird things happening to them and just all of that. So it's a fun watch, you guys. It does have Eugenio Derbez. And then last but not least, I actually haven't seen any of the cartoon version of this, but we have El Chavo, and it's season 2. I've only actually seen the live action version of the show, but never hear the cartoon. I'm not exactly sure even how many episodes are on here, but it's 200 minutes long. So yeah, but yeah, we got El Chavo. So that is it for my TV show collection, you guys. Of the shows that I have, let me know what are some of your guys' favorites. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!